Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's continue with our conversation regarding lawlessness in our country. Now, given the country's current living conditions, rising crime and unemployment crisis, many are saying the circumstances coupled with lawlessness are an epidemic in the country. This should say something about the country's state of affairs and its failures. So, is the country becoming a failed state? Gerbrandt van Heerden, Deputy Research Head at the Center for Risk Analysis, joins us now to discuss this further and tell us what he thinks. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. van Heerden. Now, firstly, do you think that South Africa is already a country that is lawless, or is it a country that is quickly getting there?
Hello, and thank you for having me. So I actually looked up what the definition of a failed state is exactly. And there is a list of requirements defining a failed state, and one of them is a lack of proper services. Now, I think it's common knowledge that many municipalities in South Africa are in a decaying state. We are actually seeing more and more citizens, civil society groups, businesses stepping in to fill potholes, to fix lights, to improve water infrastructure. They're essentially doing the job of the government. So in that sense, we're already seeing a receding state where people are actually stepping in where the government is failing to deliver basic services such as electricity and water and other critical infrastructure. Another defining factor about a failed state is the ability of the state to ensure law and order. Now, I think it became quite clear during the July riots that we saw last year that the state is incapable of ensuring citizens' safety and security during such chaotic scenes. We've also seen long-term trends showing that many households and many people are losing confidence in the police service and now are resorting to private security and, in other instances, to vigilantism. But you asked me if I think South Africa is a failed state. I think no, the country isn't a failed state. We still have some proper institutions, and we have a lot of potential still to turn things around. But we are definitely a failing state. We, especially in some parts of the country, in some rural parts of the country, I think those parts already have failed state status. But unfortunately, we don't see the government doing anything drastic to turn the ship around. And it's unfortunate because South Africa has so much potential to be a prosperous nation. We've got the most expansive infrastructure on the continent. We've got some of the best universities on the continent. We have a vast number of minerals and resources. And yet we are failing to utilize all of these advantages that we have.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us. I unfortunately have to cut our interview a little short because we have to quickly take the viewer